What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and this edition of the Classic Metal Show is brought to you by Truth Social. Big Tech is suppressing free speech everywhere, and it's clear that their censorship campaign is going to get even worse. Without free speech, we do not have a free society. That's why you need to dump the Big Tech bosses and join the Truth Social movement now. At Truth Social, you can get all your news and opinions, set up or join groups based on your hobbies or interests, and make yourself heard on any issue without being squelched by the big tech censors. Join the network that is the leading platform for direct, unfiltered access to Donald Trump's social media posts. If you want instant access to all of Trump's announcements, plans, and reactions to the biggest issues of the day, Truth Social is the social media platform for you. Break free of big tech suppression, strike a blow against cancel culture, and reclaim your rights to America's premier free speech social media platform. Join Truth Social today.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com from the Up From the Ashes release. That is Don Dokken with Give It Up. You heard The Scream featuring John Corabi for John Phillip. You heard Manila Road with Friction and Mass for, who was this? Joshua Apkin. And that kind of wraps up the request for that segment.
You're going to see John Corabi in a week or two, aren't you?
I am. You hooked me up with some VIP shit.
Yeah, you're going to be a first-class VIP.
I am. As I should be.
Damn right.
I'm goddamn important in this music genre after 29 years.
That's right. Which one of your girlfriends are you taking?
Well, Taylor is not available, so I am going to invite my other girlfriend, Sal.
All right, there you go.
But he doesn't go out on a school night, so there's a high probability that I will be attending solo.
Sal can't rough it one night?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
It's a school night. Goddamn.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
I mean, it's going to be a great show.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go. And I appreciate the hookup from John Corabi and the Dead Daisies crew. And as good as they have been good to the CMS and you and I and all that good stuff, I will pass on your appreciation because they're not playing in your local area, at least not right now.
No, not yet. Maybe the second run of the tour dates for Dead Daisies.
They are playing at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, which is a western suburb of the city known as Chicago. And because I'm a believer in my Second Amendment, I always have my Beretta 40 available. This is what I keep on my bedstand.
You definitely need to have it.
I keep my Beretta 40. It's not a 9mm, and it's not a 44, and it's not a 45. It's a 40. It's sort of in between.
That's right.
So
it'll do the damage if somebody comes in, though.
But this is such a smooth. I don't know if you ever shot a handgun like this, but this thing is such smooth action in the trigger, and it's just such a fine, I hate to say it, but this Beretta is such a fine firearm that it beats anything that I've ever owned, and I own two of these. The
Beretta's a smooth firing gun.
It is.
That's for sure.
It's a fine weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I watch that movie with Jonah Hill with the what is it, the War Dogs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just think of them going through that Iraqi or Iranian desert to deliver those Berettas. that they
Oh, yeah.
contracted for.
Mm-hmm.
every time I watch that movie, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it, it's called War Dogs.
It is good.
What is that? Almost 20 years old already? Is it early 2000s?
Can you stop making me feel old at every turn?
I know it sucks, but it's a great movie. I just watched it again last.
No, it's not that old.
Is it
2016?
16. Okay. Well, it's
Almost 10.
Yeah. But I just watched it again I think I watched it last Saturday, as a matter of fact. So, but it's just one of those movies that's like, holy shit. And it's more or less a reenactment of true events that these young 20-something-year-olds were able to contract with the U.S. government and make a shit ton of money, but they kind of fucked it up.
Right.
And it was pretty good. But there was a scene in the movie where Jonah Hill and his partner have to travel through the Iraqi desert to deliver a bunch of Berettas to the U.S. military. And they make it through this death zone.
Right.
And deliver these Berettas. But if you ever own a Beretta handgun, not a finer piece of artillery has ever been made as far as like handguns are concerned. And I own a 9mm and this 40mm and a PX4, as a matter of fact. So I actually own three.
There you go. Look at you.
Three different Berettas.
Gun-toting lunatic.
I am. I'm a right-wing gun-toting runatic.
Now you're Asian too. What the hell?
I'm a runatic.
You're a runatic.
So there you are. If you like handguns, Beretta, you can't beat that.
Nice weapon.
They're a little pricey, but they're well worth the money because they're so well precisioned handguns.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I own three different calibers or three different versions of Berettas.
Well, you'll never hear me say nothing bad about my Judge. That's for sure. I love my Judge.
I'm gonna buy one of those. I think that's gonna be my next one. It's either gonna be the Judge or what is the other one that's comparable to that? It's
what is it? The General or something? I forget what it is.
It's Smith and Wesson, I think.
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but it's there is a comparable one.
Yeah, but it shoots the 410
410s and 44s. Yeah,
44. It's pretty wicked for a little handgun to shoot a shotgun round, which it's pretty thin. But what is that? What the fuck is that one?
Them 410s aren't that thin. They're about that big around.
Oh, they're not quite a 12 gauge.
No, but they're not tiny either.
Yeah, but they're a thin shotgun round.
Yeah, they are a thin shotgun round. But if you're coming down a hallway and you got one of those blasted in you, you're gonna know.
Yeah,
or you might not know. More to the point, you probably won't know.
True,
because you'll be done.
Right. But I love my guns. I love them.
Me too.
If you're a collector and you enjoy firearms at their best, regardless if you just use them for sport or target shooting or, conceal carry or whatever state situation you live in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of Beretta. I like Beretta. I think their firearms are top notch.
Hell yeah. Well, that's why they're one of the top names.
Yep.
They are the top names.
Why did they have to come up with such great weaponry?
Yeah. I don't know about the Mossbergs, T-Cuz. Because I have my Mossberg's not that good. Of course, it is a 22, but it's not the best. It's not the best weapon in the world. I will say that.
Well, the other one that I'm, I love only because it's U.S. made, but because they're sort of a small weapons manufacturer, out of Missouri is Black Rain. I've talked about him here on the
Sure.
show numerous times,
Mhm.
but Black Rain is one of my favorite.
No argument here. It's good. It's a nice looking weapon.
It is. Well, how are we going to fill out this last hour of the show?
I mean, I have stuff, but if you have stuff, you can go ahead because mine's all like kind of musical stuff.
All right. Well, this is not musical. This
Okay.
is pop culture stuff.
Okay.
All right. And this is just more or less, I think you'll probably get a majority of this because this kind of like falls into, stuff that people in our age group kind of know.
Okay.
Here's the article, and then I'll test your knowledge on this.
Okay, sure.
Have you ever had a moment where you brought up something from a childhood, maybe a memory or a specific phrase that you thought was totally innocuous and people around you were like, huh? And in that moment, you realized that your experience was not, and I disagree with how they phrase this, was not normal at all and maybe a little bit strange. Well, you're not alone. We recently rounded up some baffling and hilarious stories, and responses kept coming. Here are even more enjoyable tales. All right. So I'm going to read these and you tell me where you think this came from.
Okay.
As a way of expressing skepticism when I was in my teens, my mom would use the phrase, sure, and maybe monkeys will fly out of my ass. I didn't realize it wasn't a common phrase until I said it to friends. I guess it was something a friend of hers said, and she was like, and she liked it, so she adopted it. I still use it with close friends. I think it should catch on.
And what is the question? Where that phrase came from?
Sure, and maybe monkeys will fly out of my ass.
Have I ever heard it? Is that what you're asking? I
Well,
don't
where
understand
does-
what you're asking me.
Where does it come from? Where did that come from? Where did that phrase originally come from?
Selma, Alabama?
No.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to try to mimic it, and maybe
Right.
sure, and maybe monkeys will fly out of my ass.
All right, some movie. I don't know I don't know
Well,
it.
you got the movie part right.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go. I don't know.
Wayne's World.
Is it?
Yeah, it's maybe monkeys will fly out of my ass. Kind of making a Wizard of
Okay.
Oz joke.
All right. See, I'm going to be terrible at this because.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm not good at it. I'm not. I don't really know movie trivia that well. I'm not very good at it.
But you watch movies though.
Not a ton. I watch more shows than movies.
All right, so if you watched Wayne's World,
I've seen Wayne's World, yeah, but I've only seen it like once.
okay. Well, that was a phrase in that movie.
Okay.
Well, Mike Myers. He used,
Okay.
well, maybe monkeys will fly out of my butt.
I thought that it was older than that, though.
No.
All right.
So that comes from Wayne's World. My mom's side of the family always called heartburn or acid reflux agita. See, I don't even know this one.
Agita.
See, you know that one.
I know the word agita.
And slow walkers, chachadas. Whenever my dad or I needed something handed to me, we'd say, hand me that piano. See, I don't understand why this was phrased this way, but I get the whole hand me that piano thing.
Hand me that piano?
Now, this was uttered by a comedian who was popular probably until the day has died. He was a comedian, probably one of the most notable comedians of the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Carlin?
Yes.
But I have no idea from what.
He would put ridiculous phrases together, and there was one called Toledo Window Box. And
Okay.
and he had a phrase in there, hand me that piano, like putting words that don't belong together.
Okay.
And that was a thing that he put together in that.
Yeah,
so
did you know that phrase?
I did know that.
Okay. I would have never got that.
I actually own that cassette.
I would have never guessed that one.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but yeah.
Okay.
My mom thought going commando meant going crazy. I learned this when she had an issue with her bank and she texted me that she was going to go commando on them.
And he laughed and laughed.
So what does that mean to you?
Going without any underwear on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So you got that one.
I got that, but is it coming from somewhere?
No, it's just that's what the actual phrase means. Going commando without
letting the nuts swing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Without underwear. But she thought that meant like going ballistic.
Okay.
All right.
I got one of three.
You did. When my son was around 6, he called diarrhea melty poos.
Melty poos.
Well, because it's watery.
Yeah.
It's not a thick turd. It's watery.
We used to call that mudslides.
Well, there you go. You got your own vernacular.
Yeah, we did.
And we still use it 25 years later. My pre-kindergarten classroom had an ABC chart with different words for every letter, and N was narwhal.
Narwhal.
My 28-year-old at the time, dad very loudly said, narwhals aren't real.
Okay, I have no idea what that is. Narwhal?
A narwhal. I think that's kind of like a you'll have to look it up, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's sort of like a walrus type thing, a narwhal.
A narwhal.
Yeah, NARWHAL.
WHAL. I've never seen one of these things before. What kind of weird thing is this thing?
It's kind of like a seal with
a horn.
Yeah, exactly, a narwhal.
Yeah, I've never seen one of these ever. I'll put it on the screen here. Hold on. It's like a unicorn seal or some shit.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't appear to have a face either. Just looks like a... I don't know what this thing looks like. Blob.
Yeah.
That's a narwhal.
That's a narwhal.
Never seen that.
Like a seal.
Ever.
It's kind of like a seal with a horn.
Yeah. It's a horny seal.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there it is. A narwhal.
All right.
I learned something today.
Look at that. It is a thing, though.
Apparently. There's tons of pictures of it.
It's like a unicorn seal.
Yeah. Wonder where these things live. I've never seen one. Like at aquariums or anything. Have you ever seen one in person?
I have not physically seen one, but I'm aware of them.
Boy, that'd give a fucking orca a real problem if it came up on it. Stab that motherfucker.
All right. We always referred to a table lamp as quote unquote a little light, and a ceiling light as the quote unquote the big light. When my now husband and I were dating, I went over to his place to watch movies, and he got confused when I asked him to turn on the big light and put the little light on. 20 years later, even our kids now refer to it as the big and the little light.
I've never used that. Have you?
Yes.
Have you really?
Yes. Because it was the overhead light was the big light, and the little lamp was the little light.
Oh, never.
No? All right.
I never did that.
I think that's kind of regional.
I was gonna say we never. Ours was always like this fan light or the ceiling light and
Right.
The lamp.
All
We
right.
just call it a lamp.
Yeah.
Turn on the lamp, not the little light.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Didn't know that one either. Jeez.
I learned the hard way that not everyone has seen the movie Airplane. And if you say, looks like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue in mixed company, people might get confused.
Now, that one I know. I've seen Airplane about 1 billion times.
Of course.
And don't call me Shirley.
Surely you must be kidding.
Yes, I'm not kidding. And don't call me Shirley.
Exactly. Now I'm confused. What are you quoting over there? When I was a kid, we would get wheels of Colby cheese at the store, and when we cut out a piece in a triangle shape, it looked like the Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, you relate.
Now, that one I relate to. Sure.
All right. So it has been Pac-Man cheese ever since. My kids called hard-boiled eggs round eggs and omelets flat circle eggs. That's what we call them now.
And I'll add to that one that I'm sure not everybody did, but I know I always did. You remember the little cheeses that you would get like on flights back in the day?
Yeah.
That were like little triangles with the rounded back?
Yep.
We used to call them Pac-Man's mouth.
Pac-Man mouth cheese.
Yep. We used to call it Pac-Man's mouth.
All right.
And we would say that to the airline attendant. Can I get some of that Pac-Man's mouth cheese?
So I think it's regional.
It must be.
Yeah. My mom called breasts bluebirds. And I
Like tits? Breast,
Yeah.
like tits?
boobs.
Okay.
She referred, look at that lady's bluebirds.
Bluebirds?
Bluebirds. And I assumed that was normal until high school.
Her
But
bluebirds.
I guess that was kind of like a, PC way of saying, look at those tits. Hey, take a look at those. Look at Tits McGee over there. Look at her birds.
Look at her bluebirds. Wow. I never called them bluebirds. I'd be like, yeah, let me see what's in those bloomers, but not
All
bluebirds.
All right, the next one. Oh, that means the devil is spanking his wife. I told my now wife when it was sunny and raining. She looked at me horrified. Why are chicks so upset over something that is suggestive in any way, shape, or form?
Who knows? Because they're chicks.
I'd been told this since I was a kid. How inappropriate now that I have a kid. What the fuck kind of message are you teaching kids with this?
And what is it? The devil is spanking its monkey? What?
Well, when it is sunny and raining at the same time,
Okay.
they say, oh, it means the devil is spanking his wife.
Well, I've never heard that. Have you heard that one before?
No, I've never heard
I've
that.
never heard that.
All right. My parents always taught me to keep a toolbox in my trunk of the car for emergencies, and I'm one of those people. I've always kept a toolbox in my trunk.
Keep a saw in the front seat.
All right. But we never secured the toolbox, so it would slide around and thump in the trunk when turning or going over bumps. One day, my younger cousins were visiting, and we were on our way back after going to see a play at the high school. I was always involved in shows as part of the tech crew, so I had to be at every show. And at this time, we took my cousins to entertain them. My cousins were obsessed with this girl, Emily. Is that your niece?
I don't think it's the same person.
No. Who had been in the play and kept asking us when they'd be able to see Emily again. So when we went over a bump and they asked what made that sound in the trunk, we said it was Emily. So for whatever reason, it stuck. So now anytime we need tools from the trunk, we talk about grabbing an Emily.
Wow. Okay.
So that's sort of like a individual.
But that sounds like that's like an individual one.
Yeah,
that's
an
like
individual family thing.
Yeah. I mean, you never said that, right?
No,
I got to go
of course
get an
not, but
Emily.
That's sort of like an inside joke.
Right. Okay.
All right. Growing up, the TV remote was called the channel changer. I think probably a lot of people can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Once in
So
a
were the
while-
kids.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Go over there and change it to channel 13.
My dad used to call me a channel changer.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Hey, channel changer,
Get over there.
channel 3 or whatever, 43.
Yeah, 43.
Put on the prize movie."
I want to see Superhost.
That's right. Put Lanigan on. I got a card in there. I might win $10. Remember that stupid shit?
Of course.
Fucking churn that thing and pull a card, and they'd call you, and you'd win like $4.
Yeah, the prize movie.
Yeah, but it was dumb. It was literally like, and maybe it's just inflation or something. But I mean, the prizes were like $5.
Yeah, I know. But that was like free money.
Yeah, but it was $5. I can't imagine that there was a time that $5 was like, holy shit, I gotta fucking sit by the phone for 3 hours. Hopefully I win $5.
Well, ask Jackal. That would have bought him a full tank of gas in his Pacer.
Probably still would. Well, it'd still, I guess he's probably still driving a Pacer, don't you think?
We think so.
He's probably.
With his 8-track.
That's right. Deep Purple 8-track.
Once in a while, I would automatically refer to it as the channel changer. For the most part, people have a good idea of what it translates to. When we were kids, my little cousin said belched or pooted.
Pooted? I've heard pooted.
And said, "Excuse me, I birded."
Birded? Like B-I-R-D-E-D?
Oh, B-U-R-T-E-D.
Birded.
Yeah, like she burped or farted.
I was going to say pooted is farted.
Yeah, of course. She'll never be able to live it down. We keep a lot of mispronounced words going in the family.
Okay.
In my extended family, seppies, S-E-P-P-I-Es, I-E-S rather, is a question you ask a small child or a dog to suggest they should go to bed or take a nap. Seppies?
So, never heard that either.
Well, when I was a kid, small kid, and you were tired,
Yeah.
we actually thought we were going to go somewhere because my parents would always say, "Looks like it's time to go to Nap's house."
Wow. No, never heard that either.
Well, that was a thing, and we thought we were actually going to visit some family or something called the Naps.
Oh, did you think that that's what a nap was? Was like a travel?
Well, when they said we're going to Nap's house, it sounded like you were going to go visit somebody.
So did you go get in the car?
No, it was just automatically go to bed. You know, it's like, well, it's time to go to Nap's house.
But did you somehow think you were going to wake up somewhere else?
Yeah, no, you thought you were going to take a nap, and then after the nap was over, you were going to go somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I never heard that. It's interesting.
But we still use it among adults when someone's being a bit cranky and seems tired.
Okay. Wow. Never heard that one. I never heard Zeppy's, never heard Nap's house.
All right. My great aunt Murtis and great uncle Curtis. Isn't that something from Pulp Fiction? Who knows? Yeah, I know you don't like that movie. We're twins. Whenever the family would be driving anywhere, each car had a walkie-talkie. Whenever Murtis would be driving and couldn't keep up, she would walkie-talkie and ask how fast he was going, and the answer was always 32 Murtis. Anytime my family is together, if someone asks a question and the answer is 32, it's always 32 Murtis.
32 Murtis. First of all, what kind of name is Murtis?
Murtis.
What kind of hateful parent named their daughter Murtis?
Murtis.
Murtis.
How do you look at a little baby and go, well, I guess we'll name her Murtis?
Yeah, Murtis. That sounds great. My God.
I have no idea how it started, but as a child, my family always referred to the living room as the quote unquote the other room.
The other? Wow. I've never heard any of these things.
I didn't know the term living room until I was in middle school.
Okay. Like, did you also have a den?
We didn't have a den. The only reason I know the word den is because of Brady Bunch.
We had a living room, a den, and a front room.
See, there you go. Front room.
Yeah.
That's the room you don't go in at all.
Yeah.
Unless company are over.
Right. The front room we had was where my dad's pool table was.
Oh, well, that would be the
rec room.
The rec room.
Right. But for our house, it was the front room.
Well, the front room in my house was the formal living room, and you didn't go in there unless you had company.
Right. Do you remember, this is ancient history now, but you remember I told a story about when I was 13 years old and a guy tried to break into my house and I hit him with a bat? Do you remember that story?
I never heard that one.
Oh, I'll tell the story. I thought I had told that on the show.
What I know is when you were trying to be a broadcaster and set the house on fire.
Well, I've done that too, but no, when I was living out on Page Road, you get the reference. Nobody else does, but in fact, I can tell you exactly where it is, and you'll know exactly.
Okay.
You know where Page and Frost Road meet?
Yes.
If you keep going down Page Road past Frost, the first driveway on the right was my driveway.
Okay.
So it was like kind of back though in the woods a little bit. And when I was about 12 years old, I guess, 11, 12 years old, something like that, our house, the way our house was set up, it was a 3-level house.
Okay.
But like one of the levels was underground, so it was like a basement and then
they call it a split level back in the 70s.
Okay. Well, the top level or the mid level, I guess, was where the front room was. And I used to hang out in the front room all the time. That's where I used to listen to baseball games. That's where I've told the stories about me pretending to call baseball games and recording the shit and stuff. You know, I used to sit in that room all the time, and I was listening to a baseball game one night in there under the pool table, and it was like a late game, like one of them, like in California or somewhere, so it didn't even start till like 10 o'clock at night or whatever.
Sure.
And a guy tried to climb in, like break into the house, and he was like trying to climb up and into, like he had to come up. It was like
it was like a half a story up.
Yeah, so he had to kind of pull himself up.
He was like crazy climber.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly right. And I saw him coming in, and I got scared, and I was like, I didn't have it in me for some reason to yell out for my dad or to scream or whatever, but I had my baseball bat, my glove and stuff under the pool table with me for whatever reason, because I was listening to baseball probably. And I took the bat, and when he pulled himself up, I hit him in the fucking head, and he went right down and boom, because I hit him in the head with
He slid down the side of the house, and then he started climbing back up again, and then you hit him with the bat, and he went, oh no.
Pretty much. No, he just went and fucking fell out, and then I started screaming, and my mom and dad came out and called the cops, and the cops came and picked him up off the ground. I knocked him clean fucking out with a bat. 12 years old.
I never heard this story.
Yeah, I was 12 years old. I think I was 12, maybe 13, but I was not older than that. I was young.
Now I wish I had Crazy Climber.
Well, we have it at Pinball PA.
Where the windows close on your hands and
you
sound like Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live.
Right. Oh, no. Yeah, you're so right, Fuego. In today's world, my parents probably would have been arrested too. They'd arrested for raising a fucking shithead. But back in that day, you just knocked them the fuck out. And
that's when people were allowed to be like normal.
Defend themselves.
Exactly.
The one thing I remember most about that was getting yelled at by my dad. My dad was like, you should have got me. You should have taken this on yourself. What if he would have had this or that? And I was like,
and you went, you taught me how to be a man, Dad.
no, I just sat there crying. I was crying like a little girl after it, but all scared and shit. He was going to hurt me. Meanwhile, I fucking...
You just happened to have a bat handy.
You know what, dude? Because I used to sit under the pool table all the time with the baseball games. And I was always playing baseball as well, so I probably just came right in from playing baseball and had my shit.
Yeah.
And it was just there. Like, that's also where I kept the stuff for, like, when it was time to go. It was like there. It was in that room. But I honestly, it just was probably more because I was listening to baseball and I had the glove and the bat. It just, for whatever reason, it was, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Had to have the ambiance or something.
Well, it was the same thing. Same way, dude. I used to listen to KDKA in Pittsburgh, and I listened to Lanny Terry call the Pittsburgh games.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. I would sit there and listen to the AM radio, KDKA in Pittsburgh. Lanny Terry here. The Buccos are playing tonight, the San Francisco Giants, whatever.
Sure.
And I listen to all the games.
Dude, do you have a tape player, like an actual cassette player?
Yeah, I used to, yeah.
I mean, do you now?
No. I mean, I have one on my stereo system.
I mean, could you play a tape?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a cassette next time I see you. I have a cassette of the highlights of the 1971 Pirates season.
Wow, look at that.
And it's
took on the Baltimore Orioles for this.
No, that's 79.
Well, no,
was that 71 as well?
71 as well.
Okay. But I know it had was it Clemente? That was like Clemente's last year, maybe?
That was his last season, yeah.
And they're talking about, and on the mound, it's Bob Glass. And, it's like Bob Glass.
Right.
But I think that was like early years of Manny Sanguillen and stuff.
Sure.
But
sure.
I remember my parents gave me this cassette when I was, for like Christmas or birthday or something. I played that thing probably 5 million times. It was my go-to-sleep thing for years. Even as an adult, I used to go to sleep to that tape, but anymore, I don't even have a tape player, so I'd be happy to give it to you if you would like to hear it.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
It's pretty cool, man. It's actually, it's it's not like narrated. It's just, and we're here live at, wherever, Dodger Park.
Whether it was another stadium or Three River Stadium, they opened that same year.
Yeah, it was definitely Three Rivers.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool thing to hear once or twice or what. Like for me, I heard it 8 million times.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, I'll dig it out tomorrow, and I'll maybe even just throw it in the mail so that you can hear it, because it's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Bill Blass.
He
lost his pitching ability after that. He was like wild pitching, and
right.
He was having some control issues and all kinds of stuff. I remember that.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. It's just crazy hearing that. Like, I know we're off into a weird tangent to end the show, but there's a channel on Pluto and Plex and all those things called the MLB Great Games.
Okay.
And on it, they just show great baseball games.
Sure.
And a lot of it's new. I mean, a lot of it's new and it's not that great or whatever. But then some of it is like, and here we are at the 1977 World Series. And, and it's like Tim McCarver calling or playing in the game, not even calling the game, but playing in the game. And and some of it is real old. Like I watched one day, and I don't know what year it was, but it was like the Mickey Mantle Yankees versus the, I don't know, like Bob Gibson was pitching against Mickey Mantle or something. It was fucking nuts. And I was like, holy shit, I am just watching these Hall of Fame players play like regular guys.
Right.
It's so fucking cool. It's a great channel if you're a baseball fan.
All right. Perfect.
Worth watching.
All right. Well, let's get through this real quick and we'll wrap up the show.
That's fine.
You'll get this one real quick because I think this is kind of like universal.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever my kid says we are going to go do something when it should be one person doing the task or implying that I too will be doing the task they were supposed to be doing, I would say, who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of.
Now it's they, them. Thank you.
When I was very little, my family used to call strawberry milk rabbit milk. I never actually thought it came from rabbits, but I did think it was pink equivalent to chocolate milk. Well, I think
Was that from whatever Twix or whatever that was?
From Nestle.
Nestle Quicks.
Because
Nestle Quick.
Because it was like crazy rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean the strawberry milk when they had the chocolate Nestle Quick, and then they went with strawberry. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so this is kind of convoluted because whoever's writing this post probably wasn't around then, and they don't realize the origin of this, but it was just like the crazy rabbit, the strawberry Quicks mix.
Right.
And that was the whole thing. But I didn't think it was the pink equivalent to the chocolate milk comes from brown cows thing. I was thankfully relatively young when I realized it was a family No, it wasn't. It wasn't a family nickname, but it to me, it was substantially longer, like 2 years ago, to realize we called it rabbit milk because it was made of Nesquicks, which was a bunny for a mascot. Yeah. So you saw that, remember?
Oh, yeah. I'd never heard of it called rabbit milk, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's sort of like morphed over.
Yeah.
I grew up in an Italian family, and we always ate Italian bread for meals. When we bought sliced bread, my family called it American bread. Now, I do remember this. I was in my late 20s when I asked someone if they wanted American bread, and they said, "What the heck is that?" I still often refer to sliced bread as American bread, and I'm now in my 70s.
So it's sliced bread is American bread?
But the Italian bread came in like those thin loaves, and you actually kind of rip.
Oh yeah, the thin ones.
But then you came with like the Wonder Bread, and it was all like finely sliced and everything.
Right.
So they called that American bread.
Oh, I never heard that. No,
I did. Because the Italian bread came in the thin loaves, and you just kind of ripped off a piece.
Right.
And you sopped up as the Italians would call it, the gravy.
The gravy, yeah.
Exactly. But if you ate sliced white bread, it was called American bread.
And then the thick ones were the French bread.
The French bread.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, I never heard American bread though. No.
I did.
Okay.
You want this sandwich on American bread?
Yeah, all right. As long as it's not Chinese bread. Sorry, different topic.
Stop making racial jokes. Now you're going to have to apologize.
I apologize for making a Chinese bread joke.
Right, of course. My brother was 4 and about to throw up when he realized that you salivate a bunch beforehand. We forever use this description. My mouth is getting juicy.
Yeah.
You heard that?
I've used that. Yeah.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Yeah.
And it alarms almost anyone outside the immediate family.
Yeah, that's that right before you puke thing.
I know what that is, but I never heard somebody say my mouth is getting juicy.
I've said that many times. Oh
Have
man.
You? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of, if I know I'm going to throw up, like if I've drank too much or something, I wake up the next morning, I'll be heading outside. I'll be like, I got to go outside. I got fucking juicy mouth.
All right.
And that just means that here it comes.
Yeah, I know. All right. You're salivating a lot.
Yeah.
All right. When I was little, I used to call rolling down the window, blowing down the window. I can't get rid of saying it. So whenever I'm in a car with someone and I ask them to blow down the window, they look at me weird and I have to correct myself.
Yeah. Look at you like you're watching too much Pornhub.
I think that's an individual thing.
I think so too.
My family calls Parmesan cheese
Parmesan. Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
shaky cheese because it comes in the canister.
I've never called it that myself, but I've heard it that. I've heard it called that. I've heard that.
All right. Since you shake it out of the container, from this you can gather that we obviously would not grate our own cheese very often. I thought that was what everybody called it until no one that I knew was talking about it in college. Honestly, though, it probably would be a great name for a brand, Parmesan.
Okay.
So there you are. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard some of those. Not as many as I would have. I would have thought I would have heard more of those, but
yeah, shaky cheese.
Shaky cheese. I've heard of shake cheese. I definitely have heard. I think it was shake cheese, not shaky cheese, but same thing.
But again, it's all kind of like regional. Everybody sort of has their own spin on it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was kind of a fun thing to the show. It's just kind of like, well, you ever heard of that? It's like, I don't know.
Some of it, yes. Some of it, no. But
yeah. So it's kind of weird things people do in their families and their circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, everybody knows kind of what they're talking about.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another show, believe it or not.
We are donezo.
It went fast.
It did
go fast. As we always say, it went fast.
It's the quickest 6 hours of the week.
It is. It goes through so quickly.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Well, again, I appreciate everybody who tunes in via the Rumble or the CMS chat or the CMS live stream or wherever it is that you tune into us. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to become a member of our, our live, our locals. Yeah, locals. Go to CMS or classicmetalshow.locals.com and sign up. It's $5 a month and you get extra content.
That's right. So do it.
Yeah. So go over there and help us pay for this goddamn show because I'm tired of shelling out money after 29 years.
Right.
But do it. Go over there and help us. Help us, God damn it.
Please. We're shaking the pan.
Yeah, I hate to say that, but it is what we're doing. We're shaking the pan.
That's right.
So go over there and sign up for our locals. It's easy. $5 a month. You'll never miss it.
Nope.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank our good friend Ronnie Monroe for checking in. It's been a long time since I've actually conversed with him. Chris, obviously, he talks with him all the time, but he's going to go out there and perform some songs from his metal church era.
Yeah.
As well as his cave stuff that he's doing, I guess, over in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ronnie's a good dude, so go support him. And as far as I know, we're going to be back next Saturday. We're going to do the thing all over again.
Yep.
All right. So I'll let you pick a closing song. So what should we play?
All right, I'm gonna in honor of some work that I did that's debuting Monday on the CMS network on Metal Shop. How about if we finish with some Cactus with the song "Day for Night" from Cactus 5?
Well, one of our it's kind of our frequent guest, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A peachy. Apathy,
a piece,
however you want to say his name. He's back with his Cactus.
Yes,
project.
Yeah, I just chatted with him. That's the interview is going to be on Metal Shop on Monday.
All right. So Carmine a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Which one does he go by?
He's a piece.
And
Vinny is Apathy.
And their brother Frank is a peachy.
Yes.
All right. So Carmine has spoken with Chris, which will be on Metal Shop.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's back with his Cactus project.
Yes.
And he is... How long has Cactus been around? Like since the 70s?
70.
Yeah.
70. Like 70.
All right. This is prior to him being involved with Rod Stewart.
Yes.
his hot legs,
That's right.
in the late 70s with the disco stuff. And of course, he's done so many things over the last 5-6 decades. But
What is this about? Hold on 1 sec. The Metal Shop is on CMS on the channel 2 every Monday. I think it's on at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., and 6 p.m.
Okay.
It's definitely on.
All right.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. But Carmine is back with his Cactus project.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody in this lineup aside from Carmine that is original? I
don't think so. I think it's all different players.
Just Carmine calling it Cactus.
Yeah, but there are some guys like the band that plays as Cactus and tours are on this record, but it's like an all-star project. It's
okay.
It's it's Billy Sheehan and Britt Lightning and Dee Snider and like a zillion like names that are also doing these songs with Carmine and his people. But
okay.
Yeah, it's called Temple of Blues.
All right. And what was the song?
Oh, this is from Cactus 5. I'm going old school.
All right.
With Day for Night. This is from like 1972 or something.
All right.
And no, Jackal, I'm not going to the Stones next week.
You're not going?
No, my mom thought she was going to be in Chicago. So she didn't buy the.
Already gotten tickets.
Dude, I just go by what she tells me.
All right. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here with Carmine apiece with his Cactus project, which he's got something new out with
Temple of Blues. Yeah.
Cavalcade of various musicians, I guess.
That's right.
All right. And this is something older from Cactus, and this is Carmine apiece with Cactus with Day for Night. So until next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with my very good friend
Chris Hagan.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.
Get ready to turn up the excitement at your next event with the Perfect Choice Band, the ultimate party starters in Ohio and beyond. Picture this: 2 electrifying vocalists, a powerhouse rhythm section, and a horn ensemble that will blow you away. That's right, the Perfect Choice Band isn't just another cover band. We're here to transport you to the heart of the party with unforgettable renditions of your favorite hits. From classics to chart toppers, we've got your playlist covered. Our mission? To keep you singing and dancing until the stars fade into dawn. So, why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Call 440-346-5242 or visit us at perfectchoiceband.com to book the ultimate entertainment experience for your special day. The Perfect Choice Band, where every moment is music to your ears. Don't miss out. Book now and